Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, and it is what day is it? I always get lost in the week. It's Thursday, January the 23rd. I can't believe it's. I say this every day, and I know I do, but I cannot believe it is so close to the end of January already. But thank you so much for tuning in on this beautiful day outside. We got a gorgeous sunny day out there. Still cooler temperatures, a little warmer than it has been, and that warming trend will continue. We're going to take a brief look at the forecast in just a little bit, and then, of course, at 2:30 today, the First Alert Weather Team will be in here to give you a in-depth look at your forecast. If you're watching on our website or through our mobile app, thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching on our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any of those, thank you so much for watching there as well. Let me know where you're watching from. Put that in the comment section. And of course, if you have any questions or thoughts, opinions, you want to chime in on a story, anything like that, feel free to do so in the comment section on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, any of those social streams that we have going on right now. But again, I do thank you for tuning in. Before we jump into the news and give you guys some updates on things and press release actually that we received today from the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, let's take a look outside real quick. I told you it was beautiful here in our area, actually across the state. It really is. But let's take a look over downtown Jackson right now. You can see beautiful blue skies out there. Just a gorgeous shot over downtown Jackson. And let's look, yesterday and the day before, our Tylertown camera is the one, the Market Max camera in Tylertown is the one that really had a lot of snow on the ground there. And you can see even in the shadows of the trees up there, we still have some snow on the ground, some here in the ditches. But for the most part, the snow is melted because, well, it's Mississippi, and that's how we do snow. 1 or 2 days, and then we're done. Yeah, that's one good thing about being here and the snow that happens here. Let's see, in the Mike Magazine, Angela saying, hey from Greenville. Hello, Miss Angela. How are you doing today? And Danielle said, missed y'all. Danielle, missed you too. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do appreciate you very, very much. Well, let's talk about first off, before we jump into anything else, talk about the press release that the Rankin County Sheriff's Department has sent out. They are looking for some help in solving multiple auto burglaries that have happened in the Rankin County areas, the Holly Bush Road near the reservoir area. And I have that map, or have it showing on a map for you guys here so you can see exactly where this is. So the purple line here, this is Holly Bush Road right near Pelahatchie Bay towards the reservoir. And that's where they say that they have experienced a rash of auto burglaries in that area. So what we're told is that there appears to be 2 suspects involved that are breaking and entering into locked vehicles. And actually, I have pictures of them right here. This is the individuals. This is them in a driveway there in that area. So 2 suspects that appear to be breaking and entering into unlocked vehicles in that area. They don't have any information right now to show that these suspects that they were operating from a vehicle, which goes to or makes them believe that they have walked to that area, or maybe even possibly from a residence in that area as well. So if you have any information that could lead to the arrest of these individuals, you could be eligible for up to a $2,500 reward. Please contact Crime Stoppers 601-355-TIPS or the Rankin County Sheriff's Department at 601-825-1480. What we can tell from these pictures is that they like wearing pajama pants. It looks like they are wearing pajama pants. So at least if they're going to be out possibly breaking into vehicles, they want to do it comfortably. But if you have any information on those suspects there, please reach out to the Rankin County Sheriff's Department or to Crime Stoppers. Again, that number for Crime Stoppers, 601-355-TIPS, 601-355-8477. So that is happening here in the Rankin County area near the Holly Bush Road, or near Holly Bush Road near the reservoir. Now on I-20 this morning between Bovina and Edwards, the eastbound lane was completely blocked and is actually still completely blocked because of a wreck that happened there. So let me get the video of this pulled up for you guys here. So the tanker truck, it overturned and spilled fluid onto the roadway. Look at that UPS truck just mangled there. The cab of it is mangled. So MDOT says motorists should seek an alternate route, that the lanes will be closed until further notice. Again, this happened around 9 o'clock this morning. And if we go and we look at our MDOT traffic camera, let's see what's going on over there. Get that pulled up. Excuse me. So you can see this is the area right here. Let me get it more to the center of your screen. This is the area on I-20 where the wreck has happened, where the roads are closed. Traffic is backed up. We look at this alert here. It does say that the left lane is closed there. This is for road work for a bridge. This one, all lanes block for the crash. And you can see just traffic is slow going there. As soon as they open those lanes back up, which we are watching, we will let you know when that happens. But try to avoid the area if you can. And of course, you can always go to the mdottraffic.com, their website, and they'll be able to show you road conditions, be able to show you cameras in the area. Unfortunately, there's no traffic cameras near where the wreck happened, or we could look to see real time what was happening out there. But you can always go check out the MDOT traffic cameras. If you want to get updates, if you need to go over that way, check it out there to see if the road is still blocked or if it is cleared for you. Now, we told you yesterday about a judge, or the city of Jackson, rather, was seeking a temporary restraining order on a club in downtown Jackson, a Jackson nightclub. And the name of the club was the Dynamic Lounge and Grill. So the Hinds County Chancery Court judge did grant the city's request to temporarily shut down this nightclub. It's located on Lynch Street. And let me go and show you the map so you can see exactly where it's at. So the yellow box on your screen here, this is approximately where downtown Jackson is. And over here is where the nightclub is located. It's on John Lynch Street. And this is it. We've got Aberdeen Street right here, Corinth Street, Macon Street. So you can see just the general area of where this club is located. So the judge did grant that temporary restraining order to close it down. On Thursday, Chancellor Tiffany Grove approved the city's emergency request for a temporary restraining order against the Dynamic Lounge and Grill. And this came just days after a person who was shot by a stray bullet in the parking lot. This order is going to be in place until at least February the 4th, when a hearing will be held on the city's motion to have the club actually declared a nuisance and permanently closed. So there was also a shooting that happened there on the 4th, in which a person lost their life. And then on the 19th, there was another shooting there where a person was hit by a stray bullet, hit in the hand. They ended up having to have surgery because of that shooting. So court records reveal that the Jackson Police Department has received some 30 complaints about the club. And they also claim, the city claims, owners have been operating the facility illegally for months after Jackson pulled its privilege license back in May. It was operating as a restaurant had a license as a restaurant when it was operating and marketing itself, putting itself out there as a nightclub. So again, that hearing is held for February the 4th to see if the club will be permanently shut down or not. And it's at 9:30 on February the 4th when that will happen. Andrew, watching from Memphis. Thanks for tuning in, Andrew. And the Miss Vivian here says, good evening. Good evening to you as well, Miss Vivian. So coming back here into the Jackson area, there's a local attorney who is having some problems or growing concerns over the homelessness problem here in the city of Jackson. He works here in downtown Jackson, has a business there. It says that homeless people have been sleeping outside of the offices there in downtown Jackson, leaving trash, and even in some cases, relieving themselves on the business's property. So here, attorney John Reeves says that a couple sleeps outside of his law office on State Street nearly every night, and others have started fires under his carport to keep warm. He says he's maintained his downtown office for more than 40 years, and he doesn't want to leave, and he's asking the city to please do something about this. And now there is a local nonprofit and that does continue to work on new housing that could help in the area. But let's hear from the attorney now.
They use the restroom around my building, and all over town they do that. And it's just terrible. It's I feel sorry for them, but I think the city could do more.
The focus of the tiny home village is to remove homeless from downtown Jackson. If we want them gone from downtown and we want them gone off the streets and out of the abandoned buildings and houses in West Jackson, we got to have somewhere for them to go.
So the Jackson Resource Center hopes to have 40 tiny homes available by this coming May that would, in fact, give some of the homeless population somewhere to go here in the city of Jackson. Hopefully that can happen quickly. Looking here in the comments, Katisha Bragg is asking what club. Katisha, the club is the Dynamic Lounge, which she's asking that about the story I just told you where Jackson has requested and had approved a temporary restraining order to shut the club down. That was approved. It was submitted yesterday. It was approved today, and the club will be closed until the 4th of February, until a hearing, at least the 4th of February, when a hearing will happen. So the club, again, Dynamic Lounge, this is a picture of the outside of the club here on your screen, and then we can go. Here we go. This is the map. We've got the approximately downtown Jackson area right there, and the big yellow box here to the right of the screen. And then the club is located here on Lynch Street. The purple box right there is the club. So you can just see where it's at. But again, the name of the club is the Dynamic Lounge. So you're very welcome, very welcome. And you can also go to our website and read the story on this and find out more details about the story there. So there was a seminar that was held yesterday by the FBI. And if your child is active on social media or with video games, you might want to know about violent online groups that actually target these young users. So the FBI and 2 Hinds County agencies held a seminar this week to tell parents more about the groups, those groups that are targeting the young people, and they wanted to help offer some suggestions to help protect kids. They're called GORE groups, Gore, GORE groups, and they coerce minors on public platforms into recording or even live streaming acts of self-harm. So the FBI says that an outfit called the 764 group has established a presence here in Mississippi.
We introduced 764 to the Joint Terrorism Task Force Executive Board. So from that briefing, we provided a general awareness. 3 months later, we had gotten the first indications that there was presence of 764 in Mississippi. And it was really because of that awareness that a local law enforcement agency had seen graffiti, reported that graffiti up to the Fusion Center here in Mississippi.
So he says that it's important to remember that as a parent, you know your child best. And if you detect signs of struggling or abuse, reach out to people who are trained to help you, mental health professionals, doctors. There's a lot of resources. Even someone who may be struggling with suicidal thoughts, ideation, or thoughts of self-harm can call 988. That is the suicide and mental health crisis support line. You can do that anonymously. You can call or text. It doesn't have to be the person that is going through the problems. It can be one of their caregivers or someone that is just that loves them. If it's a loved one that you know that is going through something and you need resources on how to better support and help them, you can also reach out to 988. Text or call. Again, that's the National Lifeline group or National Lifeline number for those who are dealing with mental health crises or thoughts of suicide. So it's a good thing there. And then, of course, also reach out and learn more about this 764 task force so that you can maybe learn more through that way to help stop these situations from happening before it even reaches your child. That would be obviously the most ideal thing to happen in situations like this. I'll go into a story in Meridian. There's a man in Meridian that has been missing since the summer of 2011. I remember when he was reported missing all those years ago, 13 years ago almost, that he was reported missing. He was 26 years old. His name, is Julius Tadarius Jones. And this past August, there was some human remains that were found off of 25th Street there, Meridian. Police confirmed yesterday that the remains have been identified as Julius Jones. So there's no information released right now on when or how he passed away. Officers there did say that they will share more information as the details come out in their investigation. And once we receive that information, we'll pass it along to you. But again, he's been missing since August of 2011, and he was just identified. His remains were found in August of 2024, and his remains were identified on it yesterday. I know that is got to be a sense of closure, as good as it can be, a sense of closure for the family. But I know there are probably more questions that they would love to have answered with this. Well, if you live here in Hinds County, there is now an app that you can download from the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Tyree Jones says the app is going to give his department a new way to connect with you, the people. You can submit tips about crimes in your neighborhood. It also allows you to see what's going on at the jail. So you can download this app for free from the App Store and Google Play. And just search Hinds County Sheriff, Mississippi, and you'll be able to connect with the Hinds County Sheriff's Department in a whole new way. And talking about the Inauguration Day and a lot of the executive orders that President Trump signed into place there, signed a number of executive orders, actually. One of them was an order to enforce his mass deportation plan. The president wants to deport all undocumented immigrants. Right now, there's roughly 22,000 undocumented immigrants here in Mississippi. That's according to a recent report that was done by the state auditor's office.
We are not criminals. It's just a few. Most of the people we are here working hard, working in places where nobody else wanna work.
This presidential administration is doing a lot of things that are unconstitutional. And he and his administration have gotten away with so many things up to this point that I can't imagine what is going to happen. I'm very concerned. This is a very serious matter, and we have to fight it.
So the president also signed an executive order on executive order to do away with birthright citizenship. So far, more than 20 states have filed a lawsuit saying that it is unconstitutional for these executive orders that he put in place, saying they're unconstitutional. Mississippi is not one of those states that have signed or that have filed a lawsuit against this. So before we jump into anything else, we're going to talk about wrestling, the sport of wrestling here in the state of Mississippi, and what kind of changes could be coming for high school wrestlers. Before we do that, though, let's hear from our sponsor, Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thanks to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus, making it possible for us to bring you this show weekdays at 1 o'clock. And of course, our weather shows. And there's a lot more content that we are coming up with that we are going to be bringing to you guys. Actually, in the month of February, we're going to be sitting down and speaking with all of those that are going to be running for the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to be having one-on-one conversations with them, and we'll have more information about that and when those interviews are going to be taking place. In just a little bit, we'll be getting it out there to you, but just keep that in your brain, put that away. We're going to be doing that in February, one-on-one here at WLBT Plus, talking with all of the mayoral candidates for Jackson, Mississippi. I'm very excited to get to talk to them and find out what their plans are and hopes are for the city of Jackson moving forward. Just got a notification where the roadway is open over on I-20 between Edwards and Bovina, where the wreck happened. So they're saying that the roadway is open over there. Still use caution if you are going in that direction. Let's look at our forecast real quick before we look into some more news here. Let's see, our temperatures outside, they're a good bit cooler than they were yesterday. So yesterday they were about 10 degrees cooler than they were the day before. Now we're about 10 degrees warmer yesterday than they were the day before. And then now we are about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. So sitting at 46 in Jackson, Monticello at a burning hot 48 degrees there. Really kind of pleasant temperatures outside. Maybe it could be, about 10 degrees warmer. Maybe we'll hit that tomorrow and it would be perfect temperatures. But it's still much better than the freezing temperatures that we had. Now, if we look at the radar, you can see where we don't have any rain in the forecast. If we look at the next 12 hours, actually, you can see we have clear skies expected overnight. Are going to drop down into the 30s overnight. Last night, we dropped down to the mid-20s. Now, tonight, looking to drop down to the mid-30s, just barely hitting that freezing mark. You still want to take precautions, though, with your pets, pipes, plants, and people. We still have these cold temperatures in the area overnight. So just watch out for things that you care about. You make sure they don't get frozen or even close to frozen with these temperatures. And if we look over the next 7 days, you can see we do have that enhanced chance of rain on Sunday, 60% chance of rain on Sunday, but we are experiencing those warmer temperatures. So Saturday is actually looking like it's going to be a beautiful day to get outside, but we will have some rain. And look, next Wednesday, looking at a high of 67. So we are warming back up. It's just going to take a few more days before we get out of those freezing temperatures, and I'm looking very much forward to it. Very much forward to it. Now, at 2:30 today, our First Alert Weather team will be in here to give you a better breakdown of your forecast, so you want to make sure you're in there with them. Danielle says, Kara, you should be a spokeswoman for them. You always speak out for help. Which one? Who should I be a spokesperson for? Let me know. I appreciate that comment, though. I really do. Really do. Well, let's talk about the growing wrestling, sport of wrestling that is growing here in the state of Mississippi. It could actually become the next sanctioned high school sport here. So there's only a few more schools in the state that need to start wrestling programs for the Mississippi High School Activities Association to end up hosting a state championship. So 9 schools had wrestling programs in 2021. Since then, that number has grown to nearly 30 schools. St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Ridgeland is among those with a wrestling team. It has 3 seniors who started wrestling as freshmen when the sport was first offered at St. Andrew's. And their coach says they have grown from the experience on and off the mat.
We're hopeful that last step of them getting the sanction. We have a lot of teams right now that are waiting in the wings that say, we're definitely going to add a program as soon as the state says that they're going to sanction it. So that's the one thing that we've got. It's going to increase the number of teams exponentially, I think, at that.
So if or when the sport expands, more high school athletes in Mississippi will have an opportunity that really didn't just exist a few years ago. Danielle saying here when she said earlier that it should be a spokesperson for them, always speak out for help. I talking about the suicidal line. Well, I say that because mental health has been something that I've struggled with my entire life. And there have been moments of in my life that it seemed better to not be here anymore. And I am happy that those moments did not come to fruition. So I'm very passionate about mental health in our area and in people, and just people knowing that you matter and we want you here. We want everybody here. Nobody should have to go in a way that they're taking their own life because of a mental health crisis. So I'm a very big proponent on speaking out for mental health. Amy Jones says, "Hey, Kara, watching from McGee." Hello, Amy. Thank you so much for watching. Danielle says that she understands for real, for real. It's a hard battle. It's a hard battle, but people aren't fighting alone. Even though you feel like you're fighting alone, you so feel like you're fighting alone sometimes. Well, let's go to the other side of the country right now and give you an update on the wildfires that are happening over in California. Sadly, there was another wildfire that broke out in the northern part of Los Angeles County. It grew to more than 8,000 acres in just 5 hours. So this fire has been dubbed, and you can see the smoke plume from it on your screen. How terrifying does that look? But this has been dubbed the Hughes Fire. The blaze started Wednesday just before 11 a.m. Pacific time. Thousands of residents are under mandatory evacuation orders, and the fire forced officials to close part of Interstate 5, which is a major freeway in the LA area. So that is happening over there. And let's hear from one of the official from over there.
The weather is what's predominantly driving this fire and its spread right now. The National Weather Service has extended the red flag warning through 10 a.m. on Friday for most of Los Angeles and Ventura counties. Light to moderate Santa Ana winds will continue tonight and into Thursday. The situation remains dynamic, and the fire remains a difficult fire to contain, although we are getting the upper hand.
Thankfully, they are getting the upper hand there. You can imagine how exhausted all of the firefighters over there must be, and the residents having to deal with something like that, go through that, the stress of moments like that. My heart really does go out to them. So this marks the first significant wildfire outbreak since the deadly fires that started burning in LA earlier this month. Hopefully they can get that under control before it destroys too much woodland or even homes, possibly even taking lives. So thoughts and prayers are definitely going out to those over there in California dealing with that. And then here or not here, but back on this side of the country, in Nashville, Metro Nashville Police Department confirmed that investigators are now searching the home of the shooter that was involved in Wednesday morning's shooting at a Nashville high school. So authorities are investigating the shooting. It occurred inside the cafeteria at Antioch High School. The shooter was identified by the police as a 17-year-old Solomon Henderson, and the 16-year-old girl that was killed as a result of this incident has been identified as Jocelyn Correia Escalade. I'm probably saying her name wrong, and I really hate that I am. So according to police, the shooter confronted the victim and began firing shots, ultimately striking and killing the young girl. Another student did sustain a graze wound and was treated at a local hospital. So police say after firing the shots, the shooter then turned the gun on himself in the cafeteria. The motive of the shooting is still unknown. There's no other details that have been released at this time, but Metro or the Nashville police department. Once they release more information, we receive it and we'll pass it along to you. The Metro Nashville Public School leadership said the school is set to be closed now through the end of the week. So incredibly sad situation. Our thoughts, of course, go to the people in Nashville. Anytime a school shooting happens, it breaks your heart. It really does break your heart. Sheila here looking, said that he had a manifesto. Okay, I did. I haven't heard that. I'll have to look into that and see about that. But I would not be surprised. Would not be surprised. Also asking, what is the death toll now for the fires over in California? I believe the last count that we have heard about was 10, but I could be wrong on that. But that just off the top of my head, that's what I'm thinking that it is, but I could be wrong on that. Well, guys, that's going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. Weather team will be here at 2:30 to look at your forecast and give you some more info on that rain that's going to be moving in on Sunday. Don't think it's going to be anything that's severe weather or severe weather threat. I think it's just going to be rain, but be here at 2:30 to hear from them. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I hope that you all join me then on tomorrow is Friday, finally Friday. So come back be with us tomorrow. Then I will see y'all then. Have a great day. Get some time outside if you can. Enjoy that sunshine. Just make sure you have a jacket on if you're doing it. Bye, y'all.